If you grew up with access to Nickelodeon, unless you were one of the unlucky kids to have parents not spending around $20 to $30 for cable, then you're probably familiar with Rugrats. The show was one of the very first 3 Nicktoons to debut on August 11th, 1991, launching alongside Doug and the Ren and Stimpy show. It followed Tommy and his friends as they crawled into whatever adventure they could find, usually while slipping away from their hopelessly oblivious parents. Seriously, I'm still not sure how these adults manage to have kids, but not a functioning sense of awareness. There's literally an episode where the babies break free inside a doctor's office, and the parents don't even notice until Angelica, of all people, has to break the news. Yeah, you know you screwed up as a parent when the brattiest kid on Nickelodeon has more concern for the baby's safety than you do.
You know, Honey Pie, these are the kinds of things you should really tell the grown-ups right away.
Nonetheless, it's a show many people still fawn over to this day, and it even followed up with 3 movies, video games, merchandise, and even their own Reptar cereal. I saw this once on an FYE, alongside some Chinese Doritos. So, you ever need some garlic steak Doritos, then FYE's got you covered. Maybe. But they also managed to pick up 2 spin-off shows, All Grown Up and Rugrats Preschool Days. Now, the reason All Grown Up worked for a spin-off was that it was something new and intriguing for those who grew up with the original show. Basically, Tommy, his friends, and Angelica as teenagers. Rugrats Preschool Days, however, wasn't getting the same treatment, and you're about to see why. The greenlit for this spin-off was inspired by the pilot episode of Season 8 titled Preschool Days. The episode's about Angelica and Susie going to preschool. I thought it was pretty obvious. On a more serious note, they end up breaking the teacher's coffee mug and go to extreme lengths to try and fix it, only to find out she never even wanted anything to do with it in the first place. Speaking of the teacher, her name I don't know if I should say it, but the guilt of your guys' FOMO is really eating me up. Miss Weimer. Feels good to get that off my chest. But who in the world thought it was a grand old idea to bring a little Weimer? You take a first look at your baby daughter and you think,
oh, I kind of see her as a wiener.
Like, really? What kind of dark alternate universe are we living in where someone actually finds that charming?
What a disappointment you are.
The spinoff was supposed to have 13 episodes, but Nickelodeon apparently predicted the train wreck in advance and cut it down to 4, tacking them onto the Rugrats Tale of the Cribs DVDs as bonus features. When it did air live in 2008, it was shown so early in the morning that kids weren't even awake yet. Yeah, it's that kind of show. Preschool Days is basically the middle child of the Rugrat universe. Ignored, unappreciated, and quietly miserable while the oldest and youngest steal all of the attention. And after watching it for myself, it's easy to see why Nickelodeon ditched it the moment they could. It's not a tragedy, but it's painfully forgettable. After watching all 4 episodes of Preschool Days, I have absolutely nothing to say. And I mean that literally. It's so boring that my brain went on vacation halfway through. Every plot is mediocre at best, and Angelica just acts the same annoying little brat she's always been. I still can't think of a single redeeming quality about this show besides the fact it retains the original voice actors for Susie and Angelica. That's it. That's the good news. There's an episode where Miss Weimer's class puts on a play to impress a preschool magazine. Angelica is chosen to be a tree, but she makes it clear she wants to be Martha instead. Why? Because her so-called boyfriend, Matthew, is playing the role of George. However, Savannah gaslights Angelica into thinking the cherry tree is the most important part of the play, and ends up taking her word for it while Angelica gets laughed at by the whole class with the horrendous tree costume she got. Angelica is now pissed and sets off to ruin the whole play cause of it. But it rather backfires and gives everyone a good laugh instead. And even then, she tries to say it was her idea to mess it up in the first place. Another issue I have with the show is due to how long each episode is. The episodes in total are 24 minutes long. 24! I mean, 11 minutes would have barely been tolerable, but 24? It drags out so bad that I spent more time staring at the clock than actually watching anything happen. It also doesn't help that all the plots are dull as hell. And let's not forget the art style. Oh man, the art style for this show is just ugly. When I think of Rugrats, I think of that classic art style that's engraved in fans' minds from the 90s. Not an art style that looks like The Sims if the saturation was up by 100. One person took it to IMDb to give this show its undeserved flowers. I love it. It's the best show on earth. It's better than All Grown Up and Rugrats. It's even better than the later seasons of Rugrats.
What the hell are you talking about?
Okay, if you're gonna try to rage bait, at least learn how to spell properly. You can spell the word seasons, but not earth. Also, you have to get some valid points as to why you think this show is the best on earth, because this doesn't even scratch the surface. But overall, I get why this show got buried in Nickelodeon's shallow realm, and trust me, it well deserves it. This isn't nostalgia gold, it's the kind of forgettable preschool garbage that exists purely to drain a few more dollars from an idea that should have died after one episode. A dumpster fire, through and through. But the next video of this series will talk about a spin-off that is better received by fans of Arthur. Until next time, it's the Cartoon Movement, and I'll see you all later. Peace.